right? Just so you know, right after the earthquake in 2010, there was a process, right, that was discussed to create an industrial park. For if you read, and there's a difference between what you know and what is told to you and what's the reality, right? So if you when you read about it, they will tell you that there were these partners that came together: the community, the U.S. government, the Haitian government, the Inter-American Development Bank, and then the IDB and the Inter-American Bank, IAD, came together. That's what they will tell you are the partners who came together to create an industrial park with the goal of creating more jobs in the region, more employment for the people in the region, and that those people would also be able to have more housing, better housing. They would also be able to have better schooling, right, and so forth and so on, right? So in October of 2012, the industrial park was created. It was boasted as one of the biggest things for Haiti because of the number of jobs that were going to be created. They contracted with one of the major clothing agencies, which was SAE, to be the major first contract here that was going to be able to bring jobs, right, to the region. So we can talk more about that because we're short on time, right? But what they didn't tell you, what you won't read in the paper, is that this industrial park was farming land. It was belonged to a lot of farmers, and the farmers were not told that their land was going to be taken away. In fact, the government took the land, and they said they did it by decree, that it belonged to the government. And because the land had belonged to the government, and the farmers didn't have necessarily papers to show that the land, so the government said it was theirs, but out of the goodness of their heart, they would give them some funds, right? Because they would no longer be farmers. So these are farmers who were farmers for decades. For 30 years, they've been farmers, and they were employed. Yes. Multi-generational farmers, and most of them own major acres, 1.5 acres of land, 2 acres of land, 4 acres of land, and so forth. So they weren't really informed that this was going to happen. But when that happened, you can just imagine the uproar that took place here. So then a representative from the government came and said they would give them some compensation. So most of the farmers didn't receive any compensation for 6 to 7 years. Some of them are still waiting for compensation. And the compensation they received for the land, where the highest rate amount they received was $2,400 was the highest they received for the land, right? That was there. So it really is important, right? So when and the other piece that I want to mention is that most of the supervisors, leaders of what's happening in the industrial park, those people are imported. So right now at the Caracol Villa where we are at, SAE has its own villa because it brings most of its people from both Sri Lanka, Taiwan, and other places, and these are the individuals who are here really overseeing the projects and so forth. They do employ a small number of people, particularly women are employed here, who are doing the sewing in some of the factories and the cleaning up of the space and so forth that needs to happen. But you don't have a lot of individuals in leadership positions leading the process here. At the Caracol Villa where we are at, the villa is created specifically for those leaders to have spaces to be able to be at. There are apartments that are there that you can have long term. There are the hotels that you can be in when people are visiting as well. But most of the people who are staying in those spaces are the people who are the leaders here. So very likely during our time at the villa, you will see individuals from there's 58 Sri Lankans in the villa where we are right now. A lot of people from Korea and a lot of people from Japan. So that gives you a quick overview to digest. I'm going to pass things to my very good friend who will tell you right, what's kind of happening here, and I'll translate for him.
Okay.
How you guys doing? Yeah.
Par exemple, building ça la c'est pour
This building here?
Sri Lanka.
This building came from Sri Lanka. They do shirts and jeans and hats.
Même pour habiter dans le village.
They also live in the villa. They have their own apartment complex. They here since 2016.
Compagnie qui financière ici, c'est une compagnie coréenne, mais ils ont un propre appartement dans le donc nous avons visité tout aussi. Parce que les buildings côté coréen habité dans l'appartement.
So the oldest client here is the Korean, and they have their own set of buildings even within this park, and their own.
Tout produit qui fait là, ils expédient vers les États-Unis. Ils travaillent pour Victoria's Secret, Under Armour, ils travaillent pour.
So most of the stuff that are here are exported to businesses like Nike and Victoria's Secret, American baseball brands.
C'est pour nous des clients au travail.
This is the kind of clients that they're working for.
C'est seulement ça parce que
transport début. It's like that's just give you an idea of like the companies.
Par exemple dans parc là même compagnie qui paye tout zone courant il y en a pas loin.
So one of the
c'est une compagnie américaine qui est Enrica.
Enrica is a company that is based in here, and they're the one who's supposed to feed the electrical part here, which also provide electricity for the whole area.
Are they doing that?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Bon, moi non.
C'est Jacques Dorveus Robert. C'est coordonnateur du comité de la société civile de Front Liberté. Ancien directeur départemental de pensionné civil.
Est-ce que vous avez une histoire sur terre, terre Caracol, qui l'a qui commencé?
Bon, terre, c'est des terres de l'État. Les terres de l'État sont divisées en deux parties. Il y a les domaines nationaux, il y a un domaine privé de l'État et il y a un domaine public de l'État. Le domaine privé de l'État, c'est DGI qui est responsable pour la faire monnaie. Donc, il y a l'article 15 du décret 22 septembre 1964 qui dit si l'État a besoin de terre pour cause d'utilité publique. L'utilité publique, ça plus formule d'amende. Là, il y a une indemnité pour y répondre terre. Mais c'est dans ce sens ça, il répond terre, non, il y a ça. Il paye encore.
Et que je vais payer comme ça?
Donc, ça c'est DG qui était réuni avec eux, qui connaît monter des barrières ensemble de eux.
Donc c'est pas prendre tes mounio qui te pour yo.
Non, il pas prendre yo. Chef service domaine dans te descend même. Il vient là, il parle avec tout barrière ça.
Bonsoir.
C'est comme ça.